The Golden State Warriors have a serious problem. Yes, they did come back from just winning an NBA championship, but now the offseason starts and a lot of people are questioning whether Golden State Warriors can do it all again next season. But during this offseason, there is a lot of problems that Golden State Warriors are running into. So in today's video, we're going to be going through 5 key problems that the Golden State Warriors are going to be facing this offseason and how they're going to solve it. So don't forget to like this video, and secondly, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. But let's get into the first problem, and the first problem is Andrew Wiggins becoming a free agent. So Andrew Wiggins actually has 1 year left on his contract, so he is going to be a free agent next year, but it is in the talks of doing a contract extension. Now, as you all know, Andrew Wiggins was a huge part when it comes to the Golden State Warriors playoff run, definitely probably the second best player on the court, and I think it's honestly fantastic what he has done in his career, bouncing back from having a lackluster career in Timberwolves. So I think it's honestly very evident that Andrew Wiggins does want to stay in Golden State Warriors, and he's made that known time and time again. And also the front office want to keep Andrew Wiggins, as the big three of Draymond, Klay, and Steph are slowly getting older. So it's good to have young, experienced players such as Andrew Wiggins on the team. And I do think they really should sign Andrew Wiggins for a contract extension, whether it's $100 million max contract, whatever it is. He really does deserve it. He was an all-star this year, and this season he actually put up 17.2 points. He also had 2.2 assists and 4.5 rebounds during the regular season, and I think he is going to continue to be a huge asset to the team. Now, like we've talked about before, if Andrew Wiggins was not in this final series, they probably would have lost game 5. Andrew Wiggins honestly saved them, and I think he's going to continue to do that for this team if he decides to stay. But I do think he is saying, which is really good to see. But on the other hand, there is a lot of things that can happen. There can be external factors. Maybe they don't go off to a great start next season, and maybe the contract extension may not be available for him. So there is a lot of things to consider, and Andrew Wiggins is definitely going to consider this. There may be other teams that can offer him more money. So will Andrew Wiggins stay with Golden State Warriors to win another ring, or will he go chase the bag and make some more money somewhere else? So I think that's a big problem that Golden State Warriors run into, but I think it is very important to sign someone like Andrew Wiggins back to run it all again. Problem number 2 is another great player in the Golden State Warriors, which is Jordan Poole signing a contract extension. So as you all know, Jordan Poole was coming off the bench this season because Steph Curry was back, but for the past 2 years, Jordan Poole has been putting up some great numbers for the team when Steph Curry was absent, and he continues to do that even coming off the bench. So Jordan Poole's value has really skyrocketed, also on top of winning an NBA championship, and he continues to provide great things for this team. However, Jordan Poole is coming into his way of becoming an NBA superstar, and it is hard for him to do that, especially being behind the greatest point guard ever alive. Yes, and I'm talking about Steph Curry. So it is going to be interesting to see whether Jordan Poole will sign an extension. He does have 1 more year left, but extension talks definitely happens during this offseason and also, early next year. And I think it is very important to understand that Jordan Poole may look to go somewhere else to have a starting role. All of these NBA players, whether you're the last man on the bench, want to be a starter no matter what, and I definitely see that happening with Jordan Poole. Now, he did win his first championship, and I think it is honestly fantastic. So it may be time for Jordan Poole to move somewhere else while his value is still high and he can get a great contract and also a starting position. So it is still very, wary on what's going to be happening with Jordan Poole next season, whether he will continue to stay with Golden State Warriors and win another championship, or whether he'll take the bag as well. And I think it is very understandable from Jordan Poole's perspective. It is hard to stay in a team when you're playing, reserve for the greatest point guard alive, and it is hard to stay, especially that your potential. So Jordan Poole actually this season averaged 18.5 points. He actually also had 4 assists and also 3.4 rebounds. So he was putting up some great numbers for coming off the bench, with a mix of playing with Klay Thompson and playing the 2 position when Klay wasn't playing during the season. And I think he did a really great job also in the NBA playoffs, which was honestly fantastic to see. So it is going to be tough to see Jordan Poole leave, but it is more likely to see Jordan Poole leave rather than Andrew Wiggins due to the fact that Jordan Poole doesn't have a starting position. He's not, being seen as a superstar in the Golden State Warriors roster. However, Jordan Poole in another team could be seen as the main point guard, the main shooting guard, and that's definitely something Jordan Poole may look at and also may get a bigger contract on top of that. So that is something to consider. This may be the last time we ever see Jordan Poole in a Golden State Warriors jersey next season, and if he doesn't sign an extension or maybe gets traded before deadline, we could see that happen. So, it is going to be interesting to see how they handle this situation and whether Jordan Poole decides to stay. So problem number 3 that the Golden State Warriors run into is that they are running with the same lineup they're going to be running with this year. And what I mean by that is during the offseason, a lot of these teams are targeting Golden State Warriors since they won the championship, and they are looking to get better than the Golden State Warriors. So we're going to see some big changes. We've heard that Kyrie Irving may be going to the Lakers, which is going to be huge. We also see, Russell Westbrook maybe going back to OKC or also to other teams. We've also seen Dallas Mavericks make a huge trade, trading away Luka Doncic's best friend off to Houston in exchange for Christian Wood. So there's a lot of moves happening, and obviously Golden State Warriors do have a target on their back because everyone is gunning for that title. So it is going to be interesting to see how this plays out because Golden State Warriors don't really have enough cap space to actually make some changes. So the only change they can really make is through draft picks. They may make some big, role player changes or role player trades. However, when it comes to getting a big superstar in the free agency, it's really hard for that to happen due to the fact that Golden State Warriors is already stacked and they also have a really high luxury tax. So, their salary cap is pretty much full. They really have no much more money to play with. And, with everything that is going on, they probably do want to run it back with the most amount of core people that were in this NBA championship and run it back again. Okay. Sometimes, switching up the roster too much can cause a lot of chemistry faults. So, that is going to be interesting to see how that plays out, whether it's a good thing they stick to the main core or whether it's a bad thing, because all teams around them are going to try to get better, getting bigger signings, especially the bigger teams. So, you'll definitely see teams that they have beat in this playoff, such as the Dallas Mavericks, who are already making moves. We may see Memphis get a bit better due to the fact that they're getting more and more experience. Yes, they are a very young team, and I knew that that's why Golden State Warriors are going to beat them. But as time goes on, we could see Memphis Grizzlies start to take over and be more experienced and finally take down the Golden State Warriors. But these are all hypotheticals in that sense, and this is something that they're really going to have to trust their core team on because they can't make any more changes with this roster and are probably going to run it back again with this lineup. Now, do I think they have the same star power? Yes, I do still think they have great enough star power to actually get this done, but it is going to be interesting to see because a lot of the West teams are going to be gunning for it because of how strong the West actually is. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out and how it goes about. And reason number 4 is financial issues that come with keeping Kevon Looney. So the Warriors would actually incur a $50 million tax for keeping Kevon Looney on a $7 million contract. And this is honestly huge, okay? Financials do have to be taken into account because at the end of the day, Golden State Warriors is a business and it is run as a business. So for them to keep Kevon Looney and to pay $50 million in tax, they're basically going to be asking the question, is Kevon Looney actually worth that amount of tax that they have to pay, especially with him being on a $7 million contract? Now, it is hard for me to answer, and these are the decisions that GMs have to go through every single day. So respect to all these GMs out there, even the bad ones. But, Kevon Looney is a great player. He had a great season and was very vital when it came to, what he could offer to the team in the finals. He had 6 points in this regular season and also 7.3 rebounds and 2 assists in the regular season, which was great. And we really did see him shine in the playoffs. And he didn't do, all the stat stuffing or anything like that, but he provided what he had to provide. And he actually had 7.6 rebounds in the playoffs and 5.8 points. And he was doing what his job was to get rebounds and get those second chance buckets. So it was great to see that from Kevon Looney. Now, it is a $50 million tax, so will they be trading off Kevon Looney, this season? that may be in the cards, okay? Especially the fact that it's a 50 million tax. That is a lot of money, and that's pretty much, more than double his actual contract that they have to pay for him as tax. So Kevon Looney maybe look to be traded, maybe get a better big when it comes to the price to value ratio. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, problem number 5 is actually a mixture of two problems, but this is first to actually replace Mike Brown in the coaching staff and also keeping Gary Payton II. So when I talked about the 50 million tax that they will have to pay to keep Kevon Looney, that's also a mixture of keeping Gary Payton II. And Gary Payton II, his value and stock value is going up as the days go by. So he definitely may get better offers when it comes to other teams poaching him and wanting to get them in their starting lineup or maybe a great six man. Now, Gary Payton II did a really great job these playoff series. No, he didn't rack up crazy stats, but when it comes to the defensive end, Gary Payton was honestly on the ball. He actually still got 6.5 points these playoffs, but he really did hold his defenders really, really low on scoring, such as Jason Tatum, which was his main job, and also Jaylen Brown. He also had 3.1 rebounds during this playoff series, and he did a great job on defense and also providing a little bit of offense as well when needed if Steph Curry's tired or the other 6 players that they have when it comes to scores are tired as well. But when Gary Payton steps up to the plate, he can score. A lot of people don't know that from him. He does have a solid 3-point shot. He does have a nice floater, and he can definitely get to the ring whenever he wants. So it was very interesting to see that Gary Payton II may be very close to being left and not being in the Golden State Warriors lineup next season. So we will have to see about that. And also Mike Brown leaving the coaching staff. Will they be able to replace him? So it will be an interesting season to see, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And yeah, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.